gon' ride, we gon' win. Don't know how, all I know. You, all I ever needed. You're all I ever needed.
All right, wonderful tune there by Lickery. All I Need Is You. Once again, good evening to you if you just tuned this ABN Radio UK, or London's Afropolitan radio station. And as you know, I go by the name Bright. I am yours truly in the seat. Every Sunday, as you know, from 6 to 8 p.m., I bring you the Mixpiration and a deep convo segment. Today, as I said earlier on, we've got the Adeshinas. I always want to be careful so that I can pronounce the name properly.
You got it.
Yeah, that's Tola and Yemi.
Yes,
yeah, so they are here to share their life story, from the Genesis to the Revelation. So right from the beginning.
We're not at the Revelation yet.
Yeah, we're
okay.
It's still like Exodus. It's still coming out the Red Sea at the moment. It just came out the Red Sea. Yeah.
All right, cool.
To the Promised Land.
That's nice. All right, so we're not going to leave anything out. I hope the Adeshinas are ready to share everything.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
Yeah? Cool. All right, first of all, I would kindly ask you to introduce yourselves so that the listeners can know exactly who they are listening to. Let's start from the lady.
Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Tola, Tola Adeshina. I've been married to Yemi we've been married for like 2.5 years. We got married in December 2015. Day to day, my 9 to 5, I work in financial regulation. And on the side, I have an events company that I run, so organising corporate events, concerts, luxury weddings and events. And then what else? I think I'm quite passionate about weddings, about marriages, should I say, and just about the before and after. So I think, building up that time when you're in a relationship, so dating intentionally, as well as continuing to, have a glorious marriage as well afterwards. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, so let's hear from the Mister.
Wow, how would I top that? Well, my name is Yemi Adeshina. I'm CEO of a company called Salt Light Group. We're the one responsible for bringing Travis Green last year and also Tasha Cobbs. It's a production company as well, so we do a lot of production. I'm passionate about love. I'm passionate about purpose. Most importantly, I'm finding and fulfilling your purpose, even as I'm trying to fulfill it, because I already know what it is. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much what it is. I met this amazing woman, and I decided to marry her, and here we are today.
Great. Sounds interesting already. Wow, I love that. Okay, great. Let's just go straight to it. So how did you guys meet?
So how did we meet, though?
Well, I met her at one of my best friend's 21st birthday. That's when I first laid eyes on her, and I was like, "Wow, this girl is good." She was wearing a gold dress.
Okay,
and I still remember that dress till today. That's the first time I met her, but she didn't know who I was. And she probably, you said you met me in 2007.
So when you did the commission.
So what year was that? Sorry.
Okay. 2006.
Was it 2006?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2006 then.
Okay, and then.
Yeah, so and I met EP commissions, EP launch. I don't know when that was.
That was 2007.
In Jesus' house. Yeah, so 2007.
Yeah, so we had one of my artists was doing an album launch, and that was the first time she said she saw me. So I guess it was just like a year apart.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apart. Yeah.
Wow. So what happened? You meet somebody and you say, "Wow, this girl's pretty," but it doesn't put you together. So how come now you guys are married? What happened there? What did you tell her? What happened? What transpired?
I guess it was a long story. From 2006, when I first saw her, she had a boyfriend at the time. He happened to be my friend, and so I didn't really think anything of it. So fast forward to 2014. Was it 14 or 13? 2012 actually. We started to talk again.
Yeah.
I can't remember what started the conversation. I think she was into business. So we were talking about some business ideas and whatnot, because she's very business minded, very organized, and I like people like that around me. And plus, it was someone I knew. She had done quite at that time. for someone, he was only, 24, 25? She had already done quite a few businesses. And I was like, oh, okay, this girl's got her head screwed on. So we went in, and then I started to just talk to her on like a friendship. And our friendship grew. So by 2014, 14, it had grown to the level whereby she was telling me about her personal life. So she told me she had a boyfriend, she was in a relationship. I told her about some of the girls I was seeing, and the relationship just kept growing.
Yeah.
And I think it was one particular day I asked her we'd gone out as before that, but this particular day I just said, let me take you out, kind of thing. And she said, yeah, let's go out. So we went out, we went cinema, and while I was at cinema I just felt something say to me. At that time, prior to that, I had prayed that, God, I need to settle down, I need to get married, please show me who I need to marry. And people always say to me that you probably met your wife already, and you don't know who she is. And I'm like, all the girls I've met, there's no one is my wife there. My wife is someone new. And I've always had this thing for American girls. I don't know why. Like, I really wanted an American girl, so I was like, yeah, maybe it's in America. Maybe I need to go to America. But on this particular day, while we were out, I just felt something within me saying, that's your wife. And I looked at her like, what? How can she be my wife? Like, she went out with my best friend. She is currently having a boyfriend. Like, how can she be my wife? I ignored it. But I mean, like 2-3 months after that, the feeling was starting to grow, and I was like, the more I spoke to her, the more I was like, hold on, why can't this girl be your wife? I mean, what are the rules? And the only ones I could say was, she went out with my friend. And as a man, that you don't go to where you don't go out with your boy's ex, kind of thing. So I remember going back to my boy, and I said to him, hey, yo, bro, like, I think I have feelings for Tolu, you know? And he was like, for real? Like, really? He was probably happy for me. By this time, he was married already. And it was like, yo, for real? I was like, yeah, bro, I don't know what it is, but I think I like her, but I don't want to go. They said, yo, I'll give you my blessings, man. I was like, are you for real? Like, okay, give me deets in it. What she like, da. And all he could say was good things about her. I was like,
I see.
Interesting. Like, what? And a part of me said to him, okay, if she's so good, why didn't it work out with you? Yeah. And all he could say was, it wasn't purpose. It really wasn't purpose. Like, and thank God he's a Christian, so he's a man of God. And he was like, nah, it wasn't purpose. Like, it just never worked out. And marrying her now, I realized that actually, you know what? It's a good thing it never worked out, because now I can see that as purpose for me.
For you.
That she was designed for me. That's why it never worked out with anyone.
Yeah. So wow.
That's how we grew.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? Let me just take this for now, because it's already becoming hot.
Right.
It's already going down. It's becoming very hot for me, and I'm sure that all those listening, it's becoming hot for you now. It's very interesting. We love it. Let's just do this. When we come back, we will continue.
We are online, DAB, and the ABN Radio app. Mixpiration with Bright every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. is just fun. It's exciting. It's a mix of contemporary R&B and pop gospel music right here on ABN Radio. Enjoy great tunes every Sunday evening with Bright on Mixpiration. A blend of great inspiring songs just for your Sunday evening relaxation. Tune in from 6 to 8 p.m. This and every Sunday on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential, never realize. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife. Save your life.
Tune in to the new ABN Breakfast Show from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The London City Show has evolved into an all-new breakfast show with sizzling slices of juicy newsy current affairs served with junior jumbo-sized convos on issues you should be aware of. What did I just say? The ABN Breakfast Show, the Afropolitan breakfast you can't afford to miss.
We play your genre of music from contemporary gospel, high life, hip life, Afropop, Afrobeats on London's premier Afropolitan station.
billboard, got the world and I'm broadcasting like a radio. Tell the world you wanna know. I'm brand new.
I know one thing's true. I don't even really deserve to know you, but I'm a witness that you did this, and I'm brand new. So I'm ready to go, and I'ma tell the world what they need to know. A slave to myself, but you let me go. I tried getting high, but it left me low. You did what they could never do. You cleaned up my soul and gave me life. I'm so brand new, and that's all that matters. I ain't love you first, but you first loved me. Come on, in my heart I cursed you, but you set me free. I gave you no reason to give me new seasons, to give me new life, new breathing. But you hung there bleeding, you died for my lies and my cheating, my lust and my greed. What is a man that you mindful of him? And what do I have to deserve this loving?
Trying to make the moments last, holding on to the past. But like a hero in a dream, Christ came and he rescued me. Now I'ma tell the world, I'ma tell it everywhere I go. Tell the world, yeah, I'm a billboard, tell the world, and I'm broadcasting like a radio. Tell the world you wanna know. I'm brand new.
Can't offer you nothing, but your carrot kindness keep coming. And your love is so unconditional, I get butterflies in my stomach. I got the old me in the rear view, got a new me, got a clear view. I was so dead I couldn't hear you, too deep in sin to come near you. But you drew me in, you clean me up, to take me home, beat me up. Before you do, just let me tell the truth and let these folks know that I done seen your love. And it's everlasting, infinite, it goes on and on. You can't measure it, can't quench your love, that can't separate us from the love of God. There's no estimate. My face look the same, my frame and rearranged, but I'm changed. I promise ain't the same. Your love so deep, you suffered and took pain. You died on the cross to give me a new name. Ain't nothing like I seen before. I got a beam and glow. I was low down and dirty, but you clean me, Lord. You adopted me, you keep rocking me. I'ma tell the world and ain't nobody stopping me.
Trying to make the moments last, holding on to the past. But like a hero in a dream, Christ came and he rescued me. Now I'ma tell the world, I'ma tell it everywhere I go. Yeah, I'm a billboard, tell the world, and I'm broadcasting like a radio. Tell the world you want it all. I'm brand new.
So therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he's a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come.
All right, tell the world. You know, whenever I hear this tune, that's the signature tune that they're about to tell the world. All the love, stories from the Genesis. Now they are not a Revelation yet, but he said maybe somewhere Exodus or something.
by the Red Sea.
Yeah, of course. About to cross it.
Yeah, we've crossed it. We're on the way to the promised land.
Yeah, at the promised land. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so that was Lickery, Tell the World. Great tune there. So the man just, shared how he met the beautiful wife and exactly what happened. So now you guys, got to know each other, you met, and you decided to date because you got the blessings from your friend who said, well, you can go ahead, even though you're my friend, you can move ahead, go ahead. She's good, she's that. Probably it didn't work out because she wasn't meant for him, but for you. So you were so excited it didn't work out for your friend. All right, so what was running through your head, Tola?
Okay, so I think for me, so at that time, Yemi, I'd just broken up with my then boyfriend, and Yemi, I remember telling you, I think I told you, you called me or something, or I called you, I can't remember. And as soon as I told Yemi that I'd broken up with my boyfriend, Yemi drove to my house. And basically, he took the opportunity to basically tell me that he liked me there and then. And at that time, I guess when he told me, obviously, I'd just come out of a relationship, and, I was just like, I don't even see you like that. Like, you know, I'm not even attracted to you like that. It's just not that at all.
God needed to open our eyes.
Anyway, so I mean, he was quite persistent, and so what I told him was, you know, I needed some time to pray about it, because I think there was something there, but I didn't know what it was. And I think in that time as well, so I said that, okay, I needed some time, that he shouldn't like contact me or anything. And during that time, like, he was sending like little presents to my house. So he sent me a book called Things I Wish I'd Known Before I Got Married. He sent me like I think there was one time, like, I cut my hand and I went to the hospital, and he came and brought me like a box of chocolates, a card, and stuff like that. Yeah, so he was really doing the back work. And I think I found myself thinking about our friendship, and one of the things that I liked about our friendship was the fact that, you know, he was interested in my heart, and not just interested in my heart, but also my purpose. So like, he asked, you know, well, you know, the right questions, but we spoke. Our conversations were, you know, they were of depth. They weren't just airy fairy kind of thing, you know, usual conversations that our boy meets girl has. So at that time I had a mentor. So I went to my mentor and said, oh, you know, there's this guy that likes me, blah, blah, blah. You know, I was trying to basically get guidance and be accountable as well, because I think for me, coming out of the relationship that I was in previously, I was like, the next relationship I wanted to get into, I wanted it to be of God. I wanted it to be, it lead into marriage. And I wanted that relationship to be intentional. So, you know, I took some time out and I prayed. You know, I got guidance from my mentors. And one of the questions that I kept asking them was, my mentors was, how do I know he's the one? Like, how would I know he's the one? And I think at that point, I didn't want to know whether he was the one for me to be my boyfriend or today. I wanted to know whether he was the one, as in my husband, because again, like I said, the next relationship that I get into, I want it to lead to marriage, and I want to date with, you know, purpose and intention. Yeah. And, you know, one of the things my mentors kept saying to me was that, you know what, you know, they can only tell me and give me the advice and, you know, guide me and counsel me, but it's only myself I would know, you know. And one of the things that one of my mentors said was, look for is peace, you know. And so I think at that time, Yemi asked me out. So after I asked for some space, he then asked me out on a date. And I said, I think I was still trying to do shakara. I was like, oh, I'm not free until a couple weeks ago or something. I don't even know.
Give me 2 months wait.
Okay, yeah.
2 months waited.
I think I gave him like 2 months. I was like, yeah, I'm currently in a contract. I finished my contract, you know, in 2 months or something. We can go out then. Anyway, so he took me out. So before, I think a week before our date or so, a couple weeks, he asked me to write a bucket list. And I said, oh, what is a bucket list? I didn't even know. I had to ask my sister. So on the bucket list, there's things you want to do before a certain age or things you want to do before you die. So on there, I mean, I wrote silly things. I wrote like, I want to go to the aquarium, I want to go on the London Eye, just various things really, loads of countries I wanted to visit. And basically Yemi formulated our first date from my bucket list. So on our first date, he took me on the London Eye, he took me to the aquarium, he took me to an art gallery, we went to have lunch at Hakkasan, and then he took me to a private cinema to watch a film that I really wanted to watch, that I had been saying that I really wanted to watch. And after that night, he asked me out to officially be his girlfriend, and I didn't say anything, because again I was like, well, I'm not trying to get caught up with this whole luxurious date that you've taken me on, like, you know, I want a bit more kind of thing. So I said, again, I'm going to take some time out to pray. By this time I'd already known that yes, I did like him, but I think I was still battling with I think one of them was I wasn't physically attracted to him, and then also I didn't want to be camouflaged by this whole luxurious thing. Yeah. So again, I took time out and I prayed and I fasted, and then during that time he asked to take me out on another day, and I said, no, I'm busy or something, and I said, actually no, I'm free, I'm going to church, I have night vigil, so if you want to come, you can come. And in my church, the church I went to at that time, night vigil was like from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. so it was no small, it was a very long, yes. So I said he wanted to come, and he came, and I sat towards the front, like deliberately with him. Anyway, so during that moment, like there was a moment when we were praying, and we were praying, and I just looked to the left, and I saw his head down, and he was really engaged, and like he was in a like he just seemed like he was just, he was gone kind of thing. And it was just at that moment that the peace of God came upon me, and it was like the peace that surpassed my whole understanding, and I just felt that God was saying, this is your husband.
Wow.
And from that moment, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, this is my husband. And on our way home, I think was it on our way home, I was like, oh, ask me the question that you asked me 2 weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago, or whatever. And yeah, we officially started dating. And when we started dating anyway, we knew that we were going to get married. So it was just to do formalities, I guess, you know.
Wow. So you actually heard a voice that said, this is your husband.
For me, yeah.
Wow, this is so divine then. It was divine and it's still divine. Wow. You know, sometimes people do wonder how God is able to confirm their partners, you know, because people normally say that pray, like a pastor will say, pray and God will reveal your partner, or God will lead you to your partner. People pray, they don't see it, they don't get the revelation. And I know a couple of people who asked me, how did you meet your wife? Because I've been praying for mine, and I mean, I've still not been connected to anyone. I have a lot of ladies I've been seeing in church, at work, but I'm not sure which one is the right person. You know, I don't know. In your opinion, how do you think that works? How is the connection made?
Is that hearing from God or knowing that person? I think
because not everyone hears from God. Some by actions, by connections. But I
think again, key thing, you know, as a person and an individual, before you start dating a person, I think, you know, it says in the Bible that in the multitude of counsel there is safety. So I think it's important to have mentors and the right people around you. So whether it's your pastor, your mum, your dad, or an older person that you can confide in, because sometimes when you're in that situation, you're only seeing what you want to see, and somebody from the outside can clearly see for you. You know, there's a saying that says, you know, love is blind, but when you're married, love is not blind. I mean, well, you have to blind your eyes to certain things, but it's the time before you're not married to shine your eyes very well, as my mom would say, shine your eyes. You know, so I think being in that counsel, being in that multitude of counsels, whether it's mentors that you're accountable to, and also different people hear from God different ways. So I'm sure there are loads of people who are in relationships and they don't have peace about it, because there's a certain peace that God will put in your heart, God will put in your mind, just your spirit, knowing that, you know, no matter how many times you have an argument with this person or whether, you know that, you know what, this is of God. And also purpose. You know, there's purpose to relationships. I think for me, that's what I would say. What about you, babe?
I mean, for me, two things came to mind when you asked the question. Number one was the fact that as guys, we tend to be compatible with a lot of females. So I'm speaking for women. I'm speaking on behalf of guys at the moment. In terms of guys looking for a wife, we're very compatible with a lot of women, and it would work if we put work to it. I say to people, love is a choice. You choose to fall in love. You might not choose who you like. But once you start to like them, you can then choose to remain in love with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't because they do something wrong or you don't like certain things, don't just pack it in and leave. Like, I say to my wife a while ago, she asked me a few questions, as in why didn't it work with any of my other females? And I said, you know, it's not that it didn't work, because it could have worked. Every girl I've been with, or should I say lady I've been with, we've always been compatible. I wouldn't necessarily be with you if we weren't compatible, and it would have worked. It definitely would have worked if we both decided to make it work. It would work. But I believe that, and this is just for me, that God, who created me, I didn't choose to be born. I didn't choose my parents. I didn't choose my siblings. I didn't even choose my name. I'm about to make a lifetime decision, and all of these things that made me who I am, I didn't choose them. So why would I want to make a decision, a lifetime decision that I'm going to spend the rest of my life in? Why would I want to make that decision by myself? I need to talk to God. Like, God, listen, you made me who I am. You made me like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm supposed to give you glory by expressing who I am. And if you're going to give me and help me, the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. So listen, that favor you have for me, if this is not the one, let me know, so that I mean, I might be attracted to her, but if she's not the one, let's keep it moving. And now is where I got my confidence, and I believe that God will speak to you. And just like my wife says, that God speaks to everyone differently. That you know the way God speaks to you. And maybe it might not be right for you to get married. It might not be right for you to get married. And if you look at it, I'm not even trying to preach a sermon, but there's something interesting that happens in Genesis chapter 3, just before Eve came in. The Bible says that God had made man, obviously the whole human being, and put us in Adam, kind of, because we all came out of Adam. And you would notice that it was not until Adam had a job, Adam was fulfilling purpose, that God then said it is not good for this man to be alone. So the way I interpret that is, if you are not fulfilling purpose, if you're not working as in fulfilling purpose, what God has called you to do, it is good for you to be alone. That's the way I interpret. It's good for you to be alone. But once you're beginning to fulfill purpose, then it's not good for you to be alone, and that's when the help me comes. Because I realized that's exactly how it works for me. When I determine that, God, I'm going to fulfill purpose, and to be fair, just because you might not be fulfilling purpose and you marry someone and you think, okay, now I'm fulfilling purpose, she's not the one. No, bruv, she's the one for you. I'm not trying to say divorce that one. Stick with it and make it work.
Okay, stick with it and make it work. Brilliant. It's already hot, as I said. It's already hot, and I'm loving it so much. All right, so time checks about 41 minutes past 6, and we are here to 8 p.m. Let me just say that if you want to watch us live, a video, you can go to YouTube and watch us live on YouTube. All you have to do is look for ABN Radio UK YouTube page, and you'll be able to watch us live on there. You can also listen to us on the radio player. If you don't have it, you can go to Play Store, Google Store, download the app, and listen to us on the radio player, same as TuneIn. Or if you've got DAB in your car, just search for ABN Radio UK, and you should find the London's Afropolitan radio station right there. You can also go to our website, www.abnradiouk.com, and listen to us on there. Let's do this. When we come back, we will talk about how she accepted the proposal, whether even there was a proposal at all or not. We'll find out.
ABN Radio.
London's Afropolitan radio station.
The Discourse on ABN Radio, engaging our community with discerning conversation.
Join me, Esther Alade, on The Discourse, where we will be redefining perspectives with authentic analysis.
Join The Discourse from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on ABN Radio.
This Friday and every Friday on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
ABN Radio,
home of Afrobeats.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife, save your life.
Tune in to the new ABN Breakfast Show from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The London City Show has evolved into an all-new breakfast show with sizzling slices of juicy newsy current affairs served with junior jumbo-sized convos on issues you should be aware of. What did I just say? The ABN Breakfast Show, the Afropolitan breakfast you can't afford to miss.
ABN Radio.
London's Afropolitan radio station.
Called to put on my armor and fight the good fight of faith. Until my Lord returns, I will represent my hometown heaven. I've been chosen to serve, to be an ambassador to my Lord. It's who I am. Never knew who I was and where I'm from.
All right, so that's Lyrical Soldier. We believe a great tune there. Yes, as I said, we want to find out. We are very curious to know whether there was even a proposal, as in, going on one knee and saying, babes, I just want you to be my wife. And whether there was that and how come we all went together. What happened? We want to know. So let's start with the with the lady, because the lady should be able to tell us.
She has the full juice.
What's this? The proposal?
Whether there was did he go on one knee to propose?
Yeah, he did actually. He did.
Okay, so how did he do it?
Do you know what? I think this story will be best coming from you, because you're the one who did it.
It should come from you, because we need to hear how you reacted.
Okay, cool. So it was my birthday. So but prior to this, I'd always said that, do you know what? I want the proposal to be with my family, so our families around. So my parents, his parents, our siblings, and cousin. Like, I wanted it very intimate. You know, and because it was around my birthday time, and because both my parents were in Nigeria, so I just thought, oh no, I knew he was going to be proposing soon, but I didn't think he would be doing it on my birthday. You know, number one, I didn't think he would steal my birthday and, you know, give it another limelight. But anyway, but yeah, so we went out. So he planned this whole day out. So we went like indoor skydiving, went out to eat. No, went to the cinema. We had lunch, and then we were preparing for dinner. So I think because of the skydiving, I think I had a really bad headache, and the week before my birthday, let me go back this week. So basically, Yemi came to my house the week before my birthday and said to me that, do you think we should get married, or do you think we should be together? Yeah, do you think this is working out? And I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, he said to me, do you think we're working out? Like, maybe we shouldn't maybe we shouldn't get married. Maybe we should think about getting married in the next 2 years or 3 years, because, you know, we need to find out a bit more about ourselves. And I was thinking, is this guy crazy? Like, upon all the stuff that we spoke about, we knew that we had an intention to get married. Like, I mean, everything, we had been speaking about the right stuff, and I was just thinking, God, you need to conk this boy back on the head and give him some Holy Spirit sense. Anyway, so I think after he said that, I was like, do you know what? Leave my house. Just go. Because I was just thinking, this guy is just not serious.
I think his plan was working. He wanted to take your mind off it.
I was just like, God, where's this peace that I received? You said this guy was my husband. Why is he saying this, you know? And I think I just blocked it out anyway. And so the following week, I think I was still at work and stuff, and then it was my birthday, so he had planned this day. So we went indoor skydiving, went out to lunch, and I think because of the indoor skydiving, I had a headache. So when we had our dinner in the evening, I was saying that, do you know what, I just want to go home. I've got a headache. I don't even think I just don't want to be out anymore. Let's go, kind of thing. And I think I was still a little bit upset with what he said the week before. So he told me that it was his boss's birthday that day, and I was like, oh, you didn't tell me, you've never said to me that your boss and I have the same birthday, but I just thought, I think because I had the headache, and I was just like, do you know what, I just want to go home, I can't be bothered. He just said that he quickly needs to go there and drop a present, and you know, surprisingly the venue was round the corner, but again I just thought, do you know what, whatever, I've got a headache, I just want to get home. The quicker we do this, the quicker we get home, kind of thing. So we finished dinner, and so we got out the restaurant, and you know, we had parked the car, and then he said, no, we can walk, and I said, oh, okay, no problem. You know, again, I didn't really think much of it. You know, so we got to the venue now, and I think I can't remember where it was, but anyway, it was somewhere in the city, and you know, we went upstairs, and I was thinking, as we were going upstairs, it was really quiet, and I was thinking, if this was a party, like, you know, it should be really,
some music.
Yeah, because downstairs there was a lot of music and stuff, and I was thinking, it's not a dinner. He said it was a party, but again, I just thought, what's my own anyway? So we were going upstairs, and he had a present, you know, all wrapped up with a bow on top and everything. So we're going up the stairs, and then all I hear is surprise, and I was like, oh my gosh, no way! Like, and I spoke to so many people that day, and they were like, because they kept asking me what I was doing, and I said, well, I'm going out of Yemi, and I don't think I'd be celebrating. And you know, some people were even getting upset with me, like, now this new guy is coming to your life, you don't even spend time with us, and you know, and I was like, okay, easy, but and I was like, all of you people just lied, you're liars. So it started off as a surprise birthday party, and you know, there was a cake, like my nearest and dearest were there, Yemi's friends were there as well, and then I was thinking that I know that this is my surprise party and stuff, but there are also a lot of Yemi's friends here as well. But I thought, again, I didn't think nothing of it. So Yemi was giving a speech, and in his speech, so he was just thanking everyone for coming. Like, you know, I mean, we've got a video on YouTube as well, and he was just thanking everyone for coming, just, you know, thanking myself. And he said, you know, in the future, you know, he hopes to marry me and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, yeah, here we go again. Anyway, and then, so I walked off, and then I turned back, and I see that he's struggling to take something out of his pocket. pocket. I'm thinking, what's wrong with this guy? Like, just go and sit down. What are you trying to take out of your pocket? And then he pulls out this box, and I just, in that moment, I ran to the corner and I was like, if the ground could swallow me up, please swallow me up. Because I was so like, I think I was overwhelmed, I was shocked, I was surprised. I was not expecting it at that moment. Like, I was not expecting it at that moment. I mean, it was beautiful. He said, obviously, some beautiful words to me, got down on one knee, and presented me with my ring. And I think it was, for me, it was really beautiful because, you know, my siblings and my cousins were there to witness it, and that was the most important thing, because I think I would have been the first person to get married in my family, my cousins, and I wanted them to witness, you know, marriage from the beginning kind of thing. So and that was it for me, really.
Wow, that was so special. He actually was good at his game. He did it really well. Wow. So how did you plan that, Yemi?
Well, big up to I call her my executive PA at the time, Mary. But she probably wasn't my PA, but she was a good friend of mine. So I had already shared the idea with her of certain things I wanted to do. So she pretty much, I told her what to do and she put it together. Big up to Beatrice as well. We helped out at the time as well, in terms of getting the venue and all of that stuff. But what was going through my mind, because I thought I had given, so backdating to the week before, because I was active, I had already bought the ring like a month before, and every night I kept looking at this ring, and I think every time I came with her, she probably was thinking, why is this guy so excited? What? So I thought, nah, I can't give it off. I can't give this off. Like, I need to throw a spanner in the works quickly just to throw her off the scent. So that's what I said to her, like, you know what, let's end this thing, kind of thing. And it was like it was one of those ones where if she ends it, we had already planned the birthday, so it's like if she said yes, let's end it. What would and I don't think I thought that far, because I thought I don't think it would go that far, but at least it would make you take the scent off the proposal. So I had already known from the first day I asked her to be my girlfriend, I knew I was going to marry her. But obviously I had to just stay. I mean, I proposed to her 6 months after we started to go out. I knew I was going to marry her anyway, but I needed her to catch up to the vision, and obviously I needed her family to catch up, because I'm not going to propose to her on that day without meeting her dad, meeting her mom, and all that stuff. So I just had to do all the formalities. And then do the proposal.
Wow. Wow. So this is one of the best stories concerning proposals. One of the best. How you threw her off, you took her mind off the whole thing, and then you surprised her. She literally wanted to go under the earth. Wow, great. So you guys got back together, as in when you threw her off, and then later you proposed, and it was all lovey-dovey and all of that. And you decided to get married, and you got married. Now reality stepped in. So before, you know, when you're dating, I think when people are dating, they don't show up their 100% personality. So they keep about 25 or 20%, and then that comes out automatically. Sometimes not their will, but it comes out without them knowing that this is my behavior. It's coming out. It's like pregnancy. It comes out anytime. You can't control it. So when you got into marriage, when you decided to get married and you got married, were you disappointed at a point in your marriage? Because saying maybe flaws came out that you didn't know when you're dating, or what happened?
Do you want to go?
You go first.
Okay, cool. I think for me, so that there's a couple things. So I think one thing was, so I knew, the thing is, when we were dating, like, I knew that Yemi was like, I mean, he's not dirty, but he's messy. So he's a creative. So everything is everywhere. I mean, I've been to his house when we were dating where everything is just kind of everywhere. So I knew that there was an aspect of that will come with us into marriage. But I guess for me, maybe I just had to adapt a little bit or give him time. So I'm the firstborn, you know, in my household for my mum. So I'm the eldest. I'm the captain. I'm the soldier. I'm the make sure the plates are washed, make sure the floor's tidy, you know, prim and proper, everything's in order. Like and I found myself, I found myself telling Yemi that, you know, oh, why haven't you washed the plate? Why haven't you washed the bath? You need to wash the toilet. You know, we need to wash the microwave every so often. You know, just things like that. And I was just like, do you know what? I guess this is what he's been used to growing up, and this is what I've been used to growing up. So we both come from different backgrounds. And I guess it was really annoying for me because I was like, you're a big man, like, you're not a child, like, and you shouldn't be doing these things. And I guess because I had grown up in that position of authority, I then had to remind myself that this is my husband. He's not my little brother. He's not my little sister. You know, so I guess there was that kind of thing. And because, like, I'm very organized, and Yemi's kind of all over the place. So I kind of had to step in and understand, you know, his weaknesses and strengths, and, you know, I guess him understanding my weaknesses and strengths. The other thing for me was sex. So sex was, I think that was I mean, and we're still working through it. Like, and thank God that we have an open and honest relationship, an open and honest marriage. So, you know, initially, I mean, we didn't have sex when we were dating. So when we got married, we had sex. When we went on our honeymoon, you know, that was all nice. And I think it's because we got on honeymoon, you know, it was just a nice vibe. So obviously, sex was sex on honeymoon. But then when we got back, I was like, oh, this guy, like, things are not, it's not happening the way I want it to happen. Like, I'm not enjoying it, you know, and I'm being open and honest here. I'm being truthful. You know, I wasn't really enjoying it. I thought there was a few issues, and so I just, you know, I sat down. I think, you know, and Yemi's a person that he's open to, do you know what have I done wrong, and how can I do better, kind of thing. So I mean, and I thank God for his life for that, because he's ready to kind of take on feedback and, you know, put it into action. So I mean, we sat down, we spoke about, like, sex, and I guess being Christians as well, it's a taboo subject, especially when you're not supposed to be having sex before marriage. So I guess coming into our marriage, it was kind of like, okay, cool. So how do you like to be pleased? What sort of things can we do to spice up our sex life? And I think even one of the things we've realised, that we've realising even now, kind of thing, is that as Christians, where do we go to learn about sex? You know, so I think maybe the expectation of before marriage, that yes, sex is going to be amazing, you know, like we're going to be at it every day, but when you get married and the realities of it, you know, obviously both, if you've had sex previously as well, and, you know, if you haven't, whichever it may be, you have different perceptions and expectations of sex. So I guess one of the things that even Yemi and I are looking at the moment is, like, how can we as Christians learn about sex without, I guess, you know, watching pornography and things like that. And I think because it's such a taboo subject in the African community, or as Christians, you know, nobody's really teaching, you know, Christian couples how we can improve our sex lives. And I think finances and sex is, like, one of the major things that people get divorced for, kind of thing.
Indeed. I guess for me, in answering your question, let me just justify, because I feel like as a man, my ego is scratching me that I need to justify the lack of sex. I'm joking.
Baby, don't wait.
I think what happened actually was from getting used to, like, 4 times a week regular sex, 4 times a week, at least 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, we're doing it regularly in the first year, and all of a sudden it dropped down to once a week, and then once in every 2 weeks. And there was actually a particular time it was like once in a month. No, even before that. Before that, like once a month, before we had the conversation. So then I was like, wait, hold on a second, what's happening here? Like, I'll be roasting and touch her, she's like, no, I'm not in the mood. I'm like, okay, today you're not in the mood, tomorrow you're not in the mood, the day after you're not in the mood. Babe, you need to hurry up and get into this mood, because daddy has the house. But anyway, she then came out and told me, and I realized that it was something she was struggling with, to express how she felt. Obviously telling your husband that you're not pleasing me, or I'm not coming. Like, it's very difficult for a man to even hear that. I'm like, yo, like, do you know who I am? Do you want to go check my credit? Like, hey, listen, I put my thing, like, credit score. Hey, yo, do you want to go ask about me, fam? All of that came into my head. Again, born again or no born again, you hit a man's ego, the man comes out. So when she told me all of that stuff, those were all the thoughts that were coming from my head. But I realized that, do you know what? Listen to her heart. And I realized what was happening was, I just went in and I went out. There was no arousal. There was nothing. There was no foreplay. It was like, listen, babe, I'm horny. Let's go. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm out. And even afterwards, there's no aftercare. There wasn't all of that stuff. So I was lacking a lot. And I realized, you know what? If I want this marriage to work and I want sex regularly, I'm gonna have to improve. So I just started to listen to her. Okay, what makes you work? How do you want your body to be pleased? And in doing that, I realized that we became liberated. Like we have an amazing sex life now as a result of it. And like he was saying, in terms of where do you go to learn, like it's very difficult, which is why we said, you know what, babe, we're gonna teach ourselves. Like this is how when you do this, I know this is what this means. Like, and obviously we're still at the early stages of that. That you know what, if I'm around, do this for me. Like, you know, and she knows even if you're not in the mood. And you know, I need to come. You need to find an alternative to make me like those kind of things, and they are working because they will always put a smile on your face when you have those kind of conversations.
Wow, this is deep.
The deep convo.
That's why you're on deep convo, as he said, deep. Well, I'm loving it already. Cool. So now everything is, you know, you got to know his side. He also got to know your side and how to work things out and all of that. You know. Obviously you've spoken about issues here and there. How did you deal with it? Because sometimes we get to know our partner's flaws and we don't know how to go about it, and the same thing keeps bothering us. It keeps being the hindrance in the marriage, but there should be a way of going around it. A couple came on the show and the lady told me that there's an agreement between her and the husband, and the agreement is that whenever there's no tissue in the toilet, he has to put the tissue there. So even if he's late for work, he has to make sure he's there. Exactly. So if it's not there and the lady goes there after he's left for work, she would just call her joking and say, babe, did you forget where the tissue is? So that, like, you know, just to remind him that this is your duty, you have to do it. And they just laugh over it and then they sort it out. So that was how they were going about it, which was kind of fun, but trying to correct something between them. So so we want to know how you guys, you know,
I think for us, so we try and put in a place where we have like a date night once a week on a Thursday, where we try and stick to it. And at that date night, maybe we do something fun, but then we also review our marriage, should we say. So maybe like once a month, we'll have a look at the things that have gone right in our marriage, the things that have gone wrong. We'll talk about some things that we did enjoy and that we didn't enjoy. In terms of like disagreement, so I think at the moment, like one of the main things that we were like from the beginning of our marriage was like finances. So, you know, I guess in terms of understanding the way both of us understand finances. So I'm a person where, you know, if something needs to be paid, we need to pay it on time. Bills cannot be late. We need to make sure we have a certain amount in our bank account. I have a spreadsheet with all our like ins and outs and stuff like that. Yemi's, I remember when we used to say do finance, and Yemi's not really, I guess the spreadsheet kind of like, he's not really into all of that. I'm the person that kind of sticks into the spreadsheet and, you know, the reminder of bills and stuff like that. And at one point it was getting really annoying because I felt like, oh, why do I always have to remind you when the bills are due and things like that? Like, I've put it in our joint calendar, you know, I send you a breakdown every month, you know, why can't you stick to that? And I guess I had to understand that, you know, again, we both grew up differently. And we both do things differently. Also, the responsibilities that we probably had before we got married were very different. Like, I think, you know, you only moved out like about 2 years, like before 2 years or year before we got together. So I guess Yemi only had those early responsibilities at that time, where I've always had it, you know, when I was young. And I think, you know, when I get upset with Yemi, I tend to kind of shut down and I won't talk. For Yemi, he sees that as, you know, I'm not kind of helping the situation and I'm not. But for me, I feel like I don't want to say something that I'm going to regret, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to curse him. I don't want to say anything horrible. So I'm just trying to shut down and get my moment. So in the beginning, I would just shut down. You know, he'll be like, he doesn't know what's going on, what's wrong with you? And then I think, you know, I told him that, you know what, it helps me to shut down and not say anything so that I can just get my thoughts together and know what I'm going to say to you without saying, you know, bad things. Because again, you know, we've already said in our marriage that we're not going to ever swear at each other or say things that are going to, you know, be a stamp of, but you said this to me kind of thing, or you called me this or called me that. So I think, just having a place and time where we kind of come to maybe agree to disagree. Me understanding about myself, like, so when I'm upset, okay, it's not that I don't want to talk to him at that moment, but it's just because I just need to gather my thoughts. I need to make sure that I'm not going to say anything that's going to offend him, or anything. And I guess with Yemi, what do you think, babe, in terms of
I think definitely
conflict resolution?
It needs, you need to understand each other. One of the things I say to my wife, and I think you have to, as a man, it's your responsibility to create the type of atmosphere you want in the house, even though the women controls it. So we create it, but they control it. And I had already laid the foundation right before we got married that, listen, I'm gonna love you for no reason. So there's nothing you're gonna do to me that will stop me from loving you. Great. Like there's nothing you're gonna do to me, and it's something I tell myself regularly. So when she does do something that I don't like, I then almost flip on myself that, yo, you can't stop loving her now. You have to keep loving her. And love is an action. How do you know I love you? It's because I do something for you. I can't say I love you and don't do anything for you. So I have to physically do something. So I challenged myself more so recently that if she does something to me that upsets me, for me to still remember that I love you and I have to show you I love you, I have to then quickly do something that express my love for her. Whether she sees it or not, I know that I'm also helping myself. That's one area. Now, in terms of women controlling the atmosphere, you would know by now, as in you would know your lady and you know what ticks her off, you know what she doesn't like. And I say to her, and even funny enough, on our way here, something a little misunderstanding happened, and I just jokingly said to her, babe, you know me, like you know how I wouldn't do that. And I say to her, and she knows this, like there is nothing I'm gonna do if I offend you. Understand and believe me, I didn't do it on purpose. So if I say something or do something that offended you, never see it as I did it on purpose. So once you can understand that and cross that out your mind, then you know that it was an accident, or I didn't understand what that action would do to me, or how I would react to what your actions have caused. Because we live in a cause and effect relationship. Everything we do. So for her to be angry, I know it's because I haven't done something. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I haven't done something, I'm not doing it on purpose. So why haven't I done it? So I need to then articulate that to her properly in a nice manner, not but you should have known, and then that now starts on another argument whereby you're arguing about something else when you're not talking about the main issue. So if you can understand those two things, that you know what, I'm not gonna check out this relationship, I'm gonna love you continuously, and if I do something, likewise for her, I'm waiting for her to say it in terms of she's not going to intentionally hurt me, and I know she's not going to intentionally hurt me anyway. So whatever she does, I don't take it as this girl hates me or this girl doesn't like me at this moment. I know that she genuinely loves me, but she's hurt, she's bruised. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. So if she's hurting, she's only reacting because she's already hurt. So I have to then come and be the priest of the house and come around and be like, you know what is it, baby? Like, talk to me. And today when she said I was a bit rude to her today, because I was talking to a friend of mine, one of my boys, and then she came in and said, oh, sorry to interrupt you guys. And she said, oh, funny enough, it was about this radio station. She said, babe, what time are we going to be at the radio station? I said, oh, babe, I already told you.
Like that.
I was in the middle of a conversation. I said to her, but babe, you know what time already? I've already told you. She was like, what do you mean? Anyway, she did what she said. I need to go get a drink. I said, okay, cool, go do your thing, I'll meet you. And then afterwards, when we were walking towards the car, she said, babe, you was a bit rude to me today, earlier on. I said, and I allowed her to express herself. The old me would have cut her off as soon as she said, babe, you was rude to me. I said, no, I wasn't rude to you. I would have went into defend mode. But then I realized, no, she's already bruised. Give her a space, let her express how she felt. And as soon as she expressed herself without my interruption, even though I tried to interrupt a bit, I didn't have to just hold myself back. As soon as she expressed herself, I then came in and said, okay, babe, let's analyze it. Do you think I did that on purpose? And she was like, okay. no, maybe you didn't, but you still came across it. I said, yeah, cool, but you know me, you know my heart, babe, you know my heart. And then she started to laugh because she didn't realize that, you know what, it's so true, you know, like what we're saying. And I think the reality is we practicalize. If you don't put this into practice, this conversation probably would not have happened. It could have been a heated conversation whereby we're having an interview and then I'm facing this way and trying to talk, and then you're going to be getting them vibe. It's like, do you know what, resolve it then and then, because we only have 24 hours in a day. Like, let it not be said, and you can't take back that moment. Let it not be said that for 24 hours, 5 hours out of that 24 hours, I spent staying in resentment towards my wife. Like, we ain't got time for that, man. Let's resolve it. We got the rest of our life to spend together. Like, if we're gonna beef, let's not even get into that at the moment. Let's deal with it right then and squash it.
Great. Wow, you know, as you said, love is a decision. So you have to decide, just as Christ has decided to love us. You know, we mostly go wrong, but he still loves us. You go wrong most of the time, but then he still spreads his hands, and that's why to receive us. And
that's why, as a men, it's important to understand that we are, in as much as we want our ladies to come and apologize, it is us that we need to. The Bible says, man, love your wife as Christ loves the church. How did he love the church? He gave himself up for the church. He sacrificed himself for the church. So in other words, what the Bible is saying to us is every man, every husband needs to sacrifice himself for his wife. Like, that's a difficult thing to do, you know. Like, I'm still struggling with it, but I know that, because I know that if I'm supposed to be Christ-like, Christian, then I need to do it.
Even if you are right, you need to do it. You need to make sure there's peace at home, there's love flowing at home. Because if Christ decides to love us according to our goodness, then he won't love anyone. Because we are all not righteous
at all.
No, but despite our mistakes, despite our fault, he still loves us. That's why he's saying that we should love our wives just as Christ loves the church. As simple as that. Okay, time checks about 12 minutes past 7. We're here till 8 p.m. Let's do this, and when we come back, we will be talking to family members about our problems in marriages.
ABN Radio, London's premier Afropolitan station.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred, it's about staying alive. Drop that knife, save your life.
It was a well-paying job, respectable, wearing a suit and tie every day. But I drank 24/7. Drank on the way to work, drank at work.
I never could come to terms with admitting that I had an alcohol problem or a pill problem.
I decided to get clean, and so I went to the Narconon program.
Not only did I handle my drug addiction, I completely knew how to live life.
Call Narconon today at 01435 512 460. 01435 512 460.
Mixpiration with Bright every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. is just fun. It's exciting. It's a mix of contemporary R&B and pop gospel music right here on ABN Radio. Enjoy great tunes every Sunday evening with Bright on Mixpiration, a blend of great inspiring songs just for your Sunday evening relaxation. Tune in from 6 to 8 p.m. This and every Sunday, they're on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Hi, this is Rodney Hines.
And I'm Michael.
Join us on the Voice of Sports show each and every Saturday on ABN Radio.
We'll keep you bang up to date with all the latest football scores, and we'll discuss all the big talking points in the world of sport. So don't forget, join us this Saturday, 4 till 6 on ABN Radio UK.
It's here, the African Gospel Music and Media Awards 2018, celebrating excellence. On the 2nd of June 2018, at East London Arts and Music Main Auditorium, 45 Maltings Close, Bromley by Bow, London, E3 3TA, from 6 p.m, featuring Joe Beto, Diana Hamilton, Isabella, Called Out Music, Shekinah, Dena Mwanga, Afri David, Angel Bernard, Judith Sefuma, Blessing Ali, and Reapers Choir. For tickets and information, visit AfricanGospelMusicAwards.com or call 07906 932 670. The African Gospel Music and Media Awards 2018, celebrating excellence.
Clap your hands and dance it.
What do you like for breakfast?
Well, it depends what mood I'm in. If I'm happy, I like a little bit of porridge with banana because I'm feeling healthy. If I'm in a...
Me, I like a bit of fruit. Nice apples, sliced apples.
I love
banana.
a cinnamon and raisin bagel, some scrambled eggs, and a...
I say nice English breakfast.
Salad, fruit, and orange.
I like wholemeal bagel with a bit of cream cheese on it and some bacon and then some avocado. And on the side, I like to...
Fried egg with bacon, with baked beans, toast.
I normally take my cocoa. Yeah, I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a typical Ghanaian, so I like my cocoa. I'm not too sure. I normally don't eat breakfast.
It doesn't matter how you like your breakfast, or you may not like breakfast at all, but you will love the sound of your radio when the breakfast is Afropolitan. Watch out for the new ABN Radio Breakfast Show with Ifuadum. ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
Tune in to the new ABN Breakfast Show from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The London City Show has evolved into an all-new breakfast show with sizzling slices of juicy newsy current affairs served with junior jumbo-sized convos on issues you should be aware of. What did I just say? The ABN Breakfast Show, the Afropolitan breakfast you can't afford to miss.
ABN Radio, home of Afrobeats.
Hands in the air, make a little noise in the stands if you're there. Brag on the guy, man, if you're there. Only if you're there, that'll be swag. What if when you brag, wasn't about to close with the tags, that'll be swag. What if when you brag, the bottom was the first and the last, that'll be swag. That's swag! Heard them talking like they had man. Somebody got them gassed up on that Actane. Look, I hate to tell them they ain't better get an umbrella, got rain. Let's go back in time to late 80s. D-Town, hold me down, that's where they made me. When I'm back there, ain't vacate. Why? Feels like I'm home, think I'm about staying. I ain't staying out. I already, yeah. Lone Star State bread, hack it, I forget it. Yeah. But I ain't popping back the blue. It's fly, hey, let me. I ain't talking about the shoe. Shoot, I got a lot of problems, but I'm straight. That's sweet. I know my guy to toss him in the lake. That's sweet. How many times I gotta tell you he the boss and to him anything a piece of cake? That's sweet.
All right, wonderful tune there from Triple E. I love this guy so much. If you just tuned in, good evening to you, and this is yours truly, Bright, speaking right here, with the wonderful couple, the Adeshinas. They go by the name Tola and Yemi. They've been sharing all the wonderful love story from Genesis. We are just getting to Exodus, but we are not there yet. We are getting there gradually. So yes, we will be there. All right, so if you want to contribute to the program, you can call us on 0208 670 7300. Number to call again is 0208 670 7300, or you can WhatsApp me on 0788 747 5940, 0788 747 5940. So you can text me on that number or WhatsApp me on that number. You can at the same time call me on that number if you're not in the UK and you want to do a WhatsApp call. You can call on that number and we'll put you through for you to share your views about all the things that we've discussed so far. Great. So as I said, we'll be talking about sharing problems with family members. I mean married problems, because I do know that some people go to their families like mom, dad, sisters, cousins to tell them, especially if there's a persistent problem which is not getting anywhere, like as in terms of it being solved. They tend to think that bringing in a third person is the best way. What are your views on that?
I think my views on it is I don't think it's best sharing it with your family members unless they're your mentors or the person that you're both accountable to. So I think when you get married, there's an understanding that you and your husband have now become one. There's also God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. beyond that, I think you both should, not to say that don't kind of put your problems outside, that you can never kind of try and, sort out your situations by your side. In terms of going and sharing it with your family members or your close friends, after the problem is solved, they may still see your partner in a certain light because you've told them something about them. So sometimes that's not always the wisest thing to do, but if you need kind of mediation between you both because you can't come to maybe a solution, I would suggest that, both of you, if you have a mentor that you're both accountable to, maybe your pastor, somebody who has that wisdom and overseeing of both of you that can kind of, give that advice to you. And one of the things I always say to couples as well, even for us, is like, pre-marriage counselling is great, but post-marriage counselling is also great. And because you have post-marriage counselling, or should I say marriage mentoring, it doesn't mean that you're having issues, all the time in your family. I think it's just good just to get a perspective of somebody that you both admire and that you both respect. Maybe the other thing could be that you could have a couple who you both look up to, so maybe they've been married for like 20, 30 or 40 years, who maybe you can get guidance from. So again, in sharing your problems and issues with your family members, your friends, once it's solved and you're now lovey-dovey, that mum or that dad or that auntie or that sister is probably like, look at this person. After she told, they're probably still seeing your partner in a bad light,
a different way.
And sometimes it's not good. So advice would be to get somebody who you're both accountable to, again, like it says, in a multitude of counsel there is safety, but then it's also wise to be able to solve some of your problems together. What about you, babe?
I definitely wouldn't agree or subscribe to the idea that you should go and tell your problems to your parents or any of your in-laws, because like my wife said, it could have a detrimental effect on your marriage. Even after you guys have moved on, they're still going to be looking at you with that eye of, you're the one that didn't cook for my son. Why didn't you cook for my son? You've not been cooking for my son when she's probably still cooking. And I think in terms of the post counseling or mentoring, whatever we want to call it and juice it up, is still getting somebody else involved in your marriage. I think it's very key. And as guys, sometimes we allow our ego to have the best of us. It's that thing of, why would I let somebody else come and talk to me how to run my marriage? Like, I'm not going to have it. Because I realized that prior to marriage, I was open to counseling. But after marriage, there was just something that like, was just closed. Like, my wife would push. I'm like, no, we're good, man. We're good. We can handle it ourselves. Until we allowed one of our mentors into our marriage, and we opened up a particular issue at the time. We opened it up to him, and he shared his wisdom, and then I realized that actually, yo, bro, you don't know it all. Like, you should just humble yourself sometimes and let somebody else speak into the matter, especially somebody who we've both submitted ourselves under. We're saying that, you're going to be our counselor, or we're going to be under your ministry on this particular occasion. Then let them speak, and then straight away the result, like that night. Hey, if I tell you anyway, let me leave that. That was a bit. Leave it.
Before watershed, so it's a bit explicit for now.
Let's leave that one. But I mean, it's good.
Wow, great. So now you guys are saying the same thing, that you don't think it's really necessary for couples to go sharing their problems into their moms or dads or in-laws or friends, but to someone that you really trust, like a mentor or someone who, like a pastor, that who advises you daily basis. That's a great thing to do. But sometimes when you do tell your problems even to your pastor, the pastor tells his children sometimes. Not intentionally. Possibly the pastor is discussing with the wife,
but I don't think
and the children overheard pastor saying it, and then it goes out to the church and everybody's talking about it.
Hopefully if the pastor is doing that, he shouldn't name you, because I know pastors need to pull on examples, of couples and things that are happening, but you should never name the source. Come on, like never do that. Especially now, it's even going to be difficult with this whole GDPR thing going around.
But then I guess it's also, maybe best fitting or wisdom for the couple, like when they are trying to choose somebody that they want to be accountable to also pray about it and ask God to kind of give you that guidance.
Because you just see the characteristics of the person in which you're
sharing with, you know.
I know of a pastor, one of my pastors, like if you share something with him, he's the way he processes it. Obviously, he doesn't necessarily withhold stuff from his wife, but if you share something with him, basically what he says is, you're sharing it to God. I'm just being the vessel. So you're talking to God, but I'm just the person listening. Okay. So that I am not going to now go to my wife and say. So when his wife tells him, "Oh, what did they come and say?" Well, he just said, "Pray for them." That's what he says. Especially if it's a deep situation, because he doesn't want his wife to have a perception of that, because he's been able to deal with it, kind of thing. And that's where a rumor starts, like you just rightly said. So I might be sharing it, and then the kids are in the background. They listen.
Told your friends,
and they go and you don't want to. You don't want that.
Cool. All right. Cool. So let's talk about relationship with God in your marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how often do you pray? Do you pray in times of troubles alone, or is it like a morning, like regular thing, or what how do you do it?
Well, we pray together every day, practically every day. I mean, we try to have a devotion. So we have a devotional book that we read through. It's a married couples devotional book. We also read Word for Today together. When we read it, we discuss it. Sometimes we don't always have time in the mornings. Maybe I wake up late for work or something. But we always make sure we pray, whether it's in the car, even if we're rushing, we pray in the car. And we pray, on the way to work or whatever it may be. But we pray every day. And we found, even when we were dating, we were praying together. We read books together and stuff, because we found that, obviously as Christians, we need to place God as the foundation. We need to place him as the priority. And I mean, as a Christian and as a couple, if you're not praying together, and you're praying separately, people draw this diagram, like this triangle where there's a husband, wife, and there's God. So you're both, I guess if you're going closer to God, you're coming together. And if you're not praying together as a couple, I don't know, spiritually, how are you growing together? I guess for us, there was a period in our life. So last year we lost our baby, and we had a stillborn. No, that's fine. We had a stillborn birth, and that time, I think, because when I was in the hospital and the doctor called for Yemi to come, the first thing that we did, when Yemi got there, was he just asked me, was I okay? And I said yes, and we prayed together. And that prayer, for me, the fact that we could pray together, and obviously because we had been praying together, it meant so much to me. And God was able to comfort me in that time, because we know, not that I had just had a relationship with him, but even when I was weak, Yemi was able to cover me with prayers. So it wasn't just like, well, I know my husband's not praying for me, because we don't usually pray together anyway, but I was confident enough to know that, even when I can't pray, I know that he's going to be praying for me. And I just think it's important, I guess, to grow spiritually.
Indeed. And I think because we had said from the onset, from the beginning of the relationship, we knew that this was something we wanted to deal with. So one of the books that she mentioned that I've got for her was 10 Things I Knew Before We Got Married. We started to speak about that.
Things I wish I knew.
Things I wish I knew before I got married. We started to speak about that, and at the back of it, there was questions. So we were talking about it, and at the end of it, we would pray. Okay. And we did that a lot. So we kind of got into the habit of praying together, reading Bibles and having Bible studies together. Because again, there's no point of me growing spiritually or your wife growing spiritually and then leaving you behind. Exactly. And if peradventure any couple listening don't already have that, are not praying together, you can start it. It's never too late. It's really never too late.
Before you eat.
Start from as little as let's pray before we eat, or let's pray before we and subtly. Because when I first met you, I never. How did we vocalize it? That say we were gonna pray together, or was it just something that you saw me pick up? Because
I think we just started praying together.
I guess.
Because when we went out I think we just started praying together.
So if you're not doing it, just start. Literally, it's never too late. Because I'm telling you, there are spiritual battles you wouldn't have to fight. if you're already in agreement. Like the Bible talks about if 2, 3 agree, even though we misplaced that scripture because he was talking about discipleship as a theologian, you know what I'm talking about. But realistically, if you agree with your wife, because both of you are now one, you're coming to God with one voice saying, God, we want you to deal with this issue, we want you to resolve this issue. Of course God will answer.
Yeah. I mean, I must say that is something that my wife and I do often. We always want to make sure at least we speak to God every morning, at least. So there are days that I'm seriously in a hurry because I'm a bit late and I want to leave home. My wife will still say, just a minute of prayer won't change anything. So you have to pray at least a minute, at least 1 minute, because you never know. You step out there and you'll be stuck in traffic. So we are in a hurry, but the traffic will determine what time you get there. So yeah, and that's one thing I'm very grateful about, meeting a lady or marrying a lady who loves praying. So she kind of helped me to appreciate the essence of prayer. So now it's part of me, as you said, because we are all now growing together in prayer, in spirit. So it's very essential. And whenever there's the funny thing is, she started it. And whenever, women are very emotional. So when she's down or there's an issue that, she thinks it's not going to work and she's down, then I come back and then encourage her in prayer and say, look, God did this for us. God can do this. So in other way, you help yourselves. If you help your partner pick up, your partner will in turn help you when you're in trouble, encourage you when you're in trouble.
The Bible talks about when we chase 1,000, 2 will put 10,000 to flight.
Exactly.
The strength in numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So now let's talk about the lovey-dovey bit. Obviously, you've spoken about the things that guys didn't like about each other. Now we want to talk about the things that you really love about each other that you would want your partner to keep doing. In another way, it would also help somebody who is listening to also start doing something like that, if not the same, a similar thing to the wife or husband, just to help spice their marriage if they are not doing anything like that. So so this time let's start from Yemi.
Interesting. Mine is simple. Like, keep on turning me on. Like, that's really it for me. Like, cook, clean, but when she turns me on, and she knows what to do to turn me on. Like, she knows what to do.
The right sport.
And it's that thing I think, I don't know what it is, but especially women who are married, there is this, they probably feel like, I don't need to be sexy anymore. Or I don't need to do what I don't need to arouse my husband, or I don't need to put it on him. And as much as guys love sex, most guys love sex more than women. But when a wife puts it on the husband, there is a certain that vavavoom that just comes over us like, yeah, baby, let's get it on. But regardless of what it is, like, I love when she does that and she knows how to do it. And because she knows how to do it, she can withhold it if she wants to, because she knows that when I turn it on, you know that you're gonna be ready. So that, and I love when she's a great cook. I love when she cooks. I mean, Olori's Kitchen, big up, prat. I'm joking now. So she cooks amazing meals.
Wildfully.
And the thing is, I think one of the things she doesn't like about me is the fact that I don't encourage her to cook more. And what do I mean by that? So experiment. Like, I'm very simple.
Yam
like,
egg, jollof.
Yam egg. Jollof rice and plantain. Like, I don't need to deviate.
She wants to explore, but you're not allowing her.
She loves it. Like, and to be honest, and I feel bad that I don't give her that encouragement but now I'm learning that, you know what, babe, explore, but obviously with a limit. Like, she likes pepper as well, so when she puts that pepper on, it's like, yo, babe, I think you need to tone it down. But I love that about her. And she's willing. She has a willing heart.
Okay.
She has a willing heart. She's ready to be corrected if you do it in love, if you do it correctly. Like, she puts up her hand and she doesn't act like she knows it on all.
Yeah.
She's not proud. think I've come across a proud situation. I'm probably the more proud, but when she's stubborn, she can be stubborn. But that's a minor compared to the grand things that I love about her.
Okay, all right, Tola.
She's very organized. Sorry, I have to put that there.
Yeah,
organized.
very
Like you were
organized.
saying about finance. So in our family, she's got the spreadsheet. Like if this bill is coming out this day, this is how much we're owing. This is how much debt we have. If we pay this month, this is how much it gets reduced by. All of that, and I'm like, yo, I love this. I love this. Yeah.
Maybe you should consider an accounting career.
Good.
Yeah.
I think there are many things that I love about Yemi. Probably one of them would be that Yemi he allows me to be myself. So I know that, when a lot of couples get married, the female feels a bit restricted by her husband, that maybe she can't do certain things and she can't talk to maybe her husband about certain things. And obviously I've got a lot of female cousins and female friends, but Yemi just allows me to, he just allows me to be myself. So he allows me to, the things that I can talk with my friends with, like gisting and stuff, Yemi's open to hear it. He's open to watch all my rom-com films, all my romantic comedies. He'll watch it with me. He's washed my hair a few times. He's just free, and he allows me to be free. So I'm very grateful of that, and I really love that about him, because again, like I said, I've seen marriages where a lot of people get married and women feel very restricted. They feel like they can't be themselves, and he's allowing me to become, just to become kind of thing. I'm flourishing, he allows me to flourish and just kind of be myself. What I love about him is that, he said sorry. He doesn't need to wait. He says sorry, he apologizes, and when he is wrong, or when in terms of being corrected, he's willing to take on the feedback and say, okay, what do I need to do? If this is what I need to do, he puts it in action straight away. There's no, may not be too consistent with it, but he's still, again, like he said to me, I'm willing. He's also willing. He's also willing to make things right, and I love that he wants to make me happy. I can see that. It's not even just something that he says and he doesn't mean. I know I can see it from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of his heart, that he wants to make me happy. And I love that about him, because I guess there are not many people that really. Some people can just be selfish and they just want to make themselves happy. Anything to kind of make me happy, even if it may make him feel, I don't know, maybe sacrificing, doing a job late or sleeping at 3 o'clock because I said I want him to spend time with me. He will do that for me, kind of thing. So yeah, I love this. And I love also, as I said, so many things that I love about him. I love his relationship with God, his intentionality about it. He's very intentional. He has such a, just being intentional with God, basically. I love his relationship with God.
Well, thank you, love.
Wow.
Welcome.
Wow. Great stuff there. So if I just want to summarize a few things that you guys said. I'm not sure I'll be able to see everything because of time.
Okay.
But the few things I picked up is, he said Yemi says sorry when he needs to. He doesn't hesitate to say sorry when he's supposed to say sorry. So that's one thing that you love about him. And he's very willing to take feedback. The same way he also said the same to about her, that she's also willing to take feedback, and she cooks very well. So these are the pointers. If you are listening, guys, ladies, pick them up. If you're not cooking well for your husband, try and do some underground learning of cooking and surprise him. Make sure your food is always on his mind, so that even when he's at work, he wants to come home, and enjoy that food. It's very, very necessary. Don't say that. If I can't cook, you should be able to buy food from outside and eat. Somebody will take your man. Yes. Don't give that chance. Don't give that chance. Because somebody will cook for your man just once, and you never know what will happen afterwards. So make sure you claim him properly. Cook very well. Once in a while, guys, also surprise your wives. Prepare. Go home very early. Prepare that sumptuous meal, and then you know, I mean, if you can't cook very well, go online, check the recipes, and do it. Surprise her, or maybe call your mom to guide you. You know, surprise her, and then that's it. You know, these are the little things that we do that spices up our marriage. You know, so it's quite very important for us to do this. Right. So for now, we'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, we're just going to play a game.
Okay.
And it's how well you know your spouse. So start getting your answers in your head. Okay. So let me pass on this.
Okay.
And let's do this.
This is ABN Radio.
It's really my type of music.
We play your genre of music, from contemporary gospel, high life, hip life, Afropop, and Afrobeats.
Play loads of music
on London's premier Afropolitan station.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart of the family ripped apart. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred or respect. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife and save a life. Quentin Slowly, supporting all family and young people.
It's that time of the year for Integrity Conference 2018, Revive Us Again, hosted by Pastor Kingsley Appiaje, with guest speakers Pastor Eastwood Anaba, Pastor Francis Sapon, Reverend Celia Appiaje Collins, and Reverend David Shoshana, on Wednesday the 30th of May to Sunday the 3rd of June at Oasis House, Peel Road, Croydon. Registration is free. Visit tbcoasishouse.com. See you there.
Hi, this is Rodney Hines.
And I'm Michael.
Join us on the Voice of Sports show each and every Saturday on ABN Radio.
We'll keep you bang up to date with all the latest football scores, and we'll discuss all the big talking points in the world of sport. So don't forget, join us this Saturday, 4 till 6 on ABN Radio UK.
What do you like for breakfast?
Well, it depends what mood I'm in. If I'm happy, I like a little bit of porridge with banana because I'm feeling healthy. If I'm in a...
Me, I like a bit of fruit. Nice apples, sliced apples.
I love
banana.
a cinnamon and raisin bagel, some scrambled eggs, and a...
I say nice English breakfast.
Salad, fruit and orange.
I like wholemeal bagel with a bit of cream cheese on it and some bacon and then some avocado. And on the side, I like to have
fried egg with bacon, with baked beans, toast.
I normally take my cocoa. Yeah, I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a typical Ghanaian, so I like my cocoa. I'm not too sure. I normally don't eat breakfast.
It doesn't matter how you like your breakfast, or you may not like breakfast at all, but you will love the sound of your radio when the breakfast is Afropolitan. Watch out for the new ABN Radio breakfast show with Efuadum. ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
No one plays it better on the radio than us. ABN Radio, home of Afrobeats.
All right, so if you hear this tune, then you should know that it's that time for the couple to spit out the answers on the sheet to see who will be victorious, whether both of them or one of them. That's why this song says Sweet Victory.
'Cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it from me. Sweet victory. 'Cause I got sweet victory. Yeah. You see me.
All right, so let's move on. Question 1. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the rules are not looking on each other's sheets.
No problem.
Just focus on yours and let's do this. So 1, what's your spouse's favorite color? And then 2, what's your husband or wife's favorite car?
Car? Oh.
Yeah, car. Who gets angry quicker? You ready? So 4, what's your spouse's favorite song? Then 5. Spouse's favorite perfume. And the last one. Your spouse's number one thing on his or her wish list. The most important thing.
You don't know my life, boy. You don't know my life, boy. You don't know what it's been like on my wife. Don't know my
give you like a minute.
In them trenches, they trying to break my phone. And when I couldn't fight no more, he rolled me low, he rolled me low. I know I can't let it go. Feel thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, cause I got sweet victory.
Okay, so we're just gonna see who got a sweet victory, whether both of them or one of them. We're gonna see that definitely. Can I have your sheets, please?
Let's go. Shall I put our name on it?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Right, so the first question, so I'll ask you, and then you tell me, and I cross-check whether it's correct or not. So the first one was your spouse's favorite color. So, Yemi, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color, I think, I actually don't have one, but it's blue. I actually don't have one, but it's blue or grey.
Well, I put a variety because I know he doesn't have one. But there's like 4 or 5 colors that you wear.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you because she wrote blue, grey, black, brown.
Yeah.
So yeah,
those are your colors. You don't have a favorite color, but
all
those
right,
are your
so
colors.
she got 2 out of it, so which is fine. So I'm gonna give that to you. So Tola, what's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Okay, fantastic. So they both got it right. Wonderful. So the next one was favorite car. So what's your favorite car?
Q7.
Hey, this one is very ditto. Wow.
I talk about these things all the time.
And what's yours, Yemi?
It's a Range and a Tesla.
Okay, so she wrote Range and Tesla. Hey. Yeah. And then Aston Martin. Oh, wow.
I know, because I guess when I took you to drive it, I don't know. I know it's a Range and Tesla.
Now, the third one. Who gets angry quicker? So, Tola.
Me.
You.
Oh, I had the same thing.
Indeed. I said yes.
He said indeed. Okay, so you both got it right. That's great. Wow, it looks like you guys are gonna break the record. Yeah, because the couple that got everything right didn't really get everything right. They got one wrong. Like the guy got it wrong, but they are currently the highest. So I'm yet to find a couple who get everything right, which I think you are getting there. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what's your spouse's favorite song at the moment? So what's your favorite song?
I actually don't have one. But it would be a gospel song. But I don't have a favorite one.
You don't, but I wrote In Christ Alone. I don't think it's your favorite song, but I think you resonate.
Yeah, I resonate with the song.
Yeah,
but it's not.
I know you don't have a favorite song. You don't have a lot of favorite things, actually.
So this one I'm not gonna award the mark because he said he doesn't have it.
But I think hers changes. But at the moment, what is it?
Let's listen to her. What's your favorite?
Well, at the moment, what is it?
Well, what am I listening to? Heaven, Miranda Curtis.
Oh no.
Okay, so with that, you guys got it wrong.
What did you write?
Assurance, David Dog. She be singing that all around the house.
Okay, all right. So the fifth one was the favorite perfume of your spouse. What's your favorite perfume?
I actually don't have one as well, but I like Arab Oud.
Yeah, Arab Oud. I think we both like Arab Oud.
Wow, what
it looks like you guys got that right because she wrote that Arab. Arab Oud, and that's it. Okay, then the last one, the number one thing on your wish list. What's the number one thing?
I don't know. My number one. That's such a hard.
Yeah, I know.
But where is it at the moment?
Number one.
Maybe if you had to say, what do you want to do tomorrow? What is it?
I don't know. There's so many things. Maybe get out of debt.
Okay.
Clear all our debts. Be financially free.
Okay.
I don't know. What did you write?
So what's your one?
Oh, okay, yeah. But that comes with being financially free. I can't think of anything else until we get our debt and be financially free.
Yeah.
I think mine.
Your one is what?
I don't know what you would write, but I think she knows that it's fulfilling purpose and actually launching my business. But I don't know, what did you write?
Launching Lightweight.
Yeah, she got that right. Looks like she. I see. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna see.
So we got
it's like
wrong.
You had about.
We've got that song one wrong.
4.5.
Yeah, you don't have a favorite song. I know you.
Okay, that wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't bad.
Nah, it wasn't bad. Cool. All right, so let's wrap up. Finally, what are your last words? Anything you want to tell the public, as in those who are just about to get married or those who are now in marriage?
Yeah, I think my last words to those who are currently single, I will say that, do you know what? Become the person you want to get married to. So don't be saying, I want to marry this guy who prays all the time, who's spiritual, who's got his finance in check and stuff like that. You also get those things in check.
Mm-hmm.
To those who are dating, I would say check yourself. Like, are you dating with intention? And by that I mean, you know, do you see yourself getting married to this person? If you don't, just get out of the relationship. There's no point, especially as Christians. You know, find a mentor individually and together, and it's never too early while you're dating to start getting counseling, to start getting pre-marriage counseling, to start knowing, you know, the kind of things that you need to be preparing for before you get married. And Yemi would probably do the marriage ones. I've got 2 books here that I'd recommend. One is Things I Wish I'd Known Before I Got Married by Gary Chapman. I think if you're single or courting or dating, I think this is a book that you definitely should read, either if you're single by yourself or if you're dating with your partner. And 2 other books, one for the female, which is called Captivating, and another one called Wild at Heart. I think they're really amazing books, you know, for people to read whilst in a relationship or before they get into a relationship. Actually, it wrecks your soul a little bit.
For real.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, last words coming up from the singles. I think to the guys, I love my brothers, and I'll say to my brothers, please start to create the atmosphere you want for your home, right from the relationship. So, and what do I mean by that is allow your spouse or your girlfriend to be the helpmate you want her to be. Now, because we shut ourselves up to the extent that sometimes we might not even know fully what we want, so we just put in the macho image. But if your wife is really gonna be your wife, you have to be vulnerable to her. If you really want her to be the helpmate, you have to be vulnerable to her. If you have anger issues, express that. Babe, I need help with this. Like, because it's only that's where they would not be frustrated while they're in the marriage, and they'll be able to cultivate. And another thing I'll say is cultivate your wives. To the men them that are married, we need to, like, one of the things that I'm failing at as a husband right now is that I'm not cultivating my wife enough. And just like a flower, if you don't cultivate the flower's gonna die soon. If you don't water it regularly, if you don't expose sunlight to it, it's gonna die. And just the same thing with your relationship. So you need to cultivate your wife, and wives, give us more sex. I'm joking.
No, that's actually man.
The reality.
And I don't even think in saying a guy, you know, for a husband to say give us more sex, I think it's also being open. Like married couples, be open, talk about sex, talk about positions, talk about what arouses you. Literally. Like if you're not talking about sex with your wife or your husband, who are you talking about sex to? You know, you can't be talking about sex to your friends or, you know, to your best friends, because at the end of the day, they're not the person that you're having sex with. You know, they're not the ones that are going to please you. So married couples, start talking to each other about sex and don't shy away.
Be intentional. Babe, I like it when you touch me here. I like it when you do this to my body. Like, be more, because who else are you going to be explicit with? Because it's like, we have this picture in our head, and we're dreaming about it. If only my wife could do this to me. Like, she's not a robot. I remember thinking there was a particular season of our marriage where I think, babe, I want you to. I was thinking, I wish my wife could do this. I wish she did this to me. I wish she did. I realized she's not gonna know that. Just tell her.
Yeah.
And then until I started to tell her, babe, I like it when you do this to me. I want you to wake me up like this, or do whatever. Like, and then you get the reality of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and just for the couples as well, I got a book that would like to recommend. It's called Moments Together for Couples. It's a daily devotional for drawing near to God and one another by Dennis and Barbara Rainey. So Yemi and I have been reading it. It's like a devotional. And they talk from everything to like sex, finances, faith, how to deal with in-laws. There's like a devotional. Outlaws. There's a devotional, scripture, and then there's questions. So it gets you discussing. And sometimes on a day-to-day basis in your marriage, you might not be discussing the things that you should be discussing. So, and this book is basically like a conversation starter. But yeah.
It probes you to want to have that certain conversations. That will lead to certain issues.
Wow. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
you two for coming. The Adeshinas, Tola and Yemi. It's been a great discussion, great deep convo, really deep. I wish the time was really late so that we could go deeper. Yeah, but this is what time would permit us to do. So we want to say thank you for honoring our invitation and for coming to share your love story with us. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you back again very shortly.
Invite us.
Yeah. There'll be, guys, there'll be a time that I would invite a section of the wives to come and have a talk, and then I would invite a section of the husbands to come. So they'll come in sections. Yeah, so it won't be husband and wife. It will just be husbands and then wives. So the husbands can pour out their issues, and wives can pour out their issues.
Come and talk.
You see? Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. It's coming very shortly. So yeah, thank you very much. If you joined us from the onset till this time, it's about 5 minutes to 8, and we have actually come to the end of the program. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that our discussion has really done something to your marriage, or if you are intending to get married, you've learned one or two things about this thing. Next week will be another section with a different couple. Check our socials and we will post everything there for you to know. God bless you so much for listening. I go by the name Bright, and I'm going to leave you with Governor B, Nothing But the Blood of Jesus. God bless you.
Wash away my sin, nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can bring me home again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Oh, precious tears of blood that makes me white as snow.
Yo, me and Adam, man, we really gotta have words. I'm sorry, brother, but I heard you made it all worse. I'm stuck, I don't know what works. I know it ain't all your fault. You're just as flawed as me. And plus, I know what it's like when I let Satan talk to me. And yo, I've read all these books, and I've read all these verses. So why, when I progress, do I get caught reversing? I'm trying to keep it moving, just trying to find your grace. But I just feel like in my life, I made so many mistakes.
What can wash away my sins?